Right, guys, fingers crossed you can all hear me all okay. You should see there should be a chat box there. Could you all just test that out? Just let me know whereabouts you're tuning in from today. That'd be a good start. Whilst you're doing that, I wanted to open up just a minute early just to kind of give everyone a chance to kind of like get settled and stuff. So to make sure that you are all in the right place, we're going to be talking about LinkedIn today, but mainly focused in on like consulting businesses, service-based businesses, and I said that I would share quite simply like what it is that we're doing day to day and have been doing for the last 7 years quite consistently, to be able to grow month in, month out. So it looks like the chat box is working. And this session today, if you have any questions at all, there is a Q&A box that is there for you to be able to use. I can guarantee you that if you put your question in that Q&A box, it will 100% be answered. I appreciate that the chat box is open, so I mean, you can see the chat box is open, right? So it's going to get quite busy in there. We're expecting between 50 to 150 of you today, so it's going to be quite busy. So if I miss your question, I just want you to, it's nothing personal. I don't mean to miss it. I will try to capture absolutely everything. All right. So we've got someone from Somerset. We've got Mark from Somerset. We've got Helen from Brighton. We've got River from River Nile from Birmingham. We've got Sunny Decking in Bedfordshire. Good to see you, Katie. And so with it today, I'm not gonna spend too long waiting around. I'm gonna share my screen because I've got so much. You know, when you put together a presentation and you've got so much to say, and you're trying to think, okay, how do I get all of this in an hour? So I'm going to try my best to make sure that we're done by the end of the hour. And then if I have to go over for the Q&A, I will do. All right. So can I just get a yes or a thumbs up in the chat? Can you all see the PowerPoint presentation? You should see a slide that says a social selling workshop, how to generate business on LinkedIn as a consulting service business in 30 days or less. So Nadine, good to see you. Katie, good. Amazing. Everyone can see. Fantastic. So today, when it comes to the session, I've got three specific objectives, really. The first one, as I mentioned a second ago, is to basically provide you with as much advice, guidance, and information as I possibly can. So I'm going to try not to go too quickly because I know some of you, when you've been onto one of my sessions before, you've asked me to slow down. So I'm going to try to keep it at a pace that's like relatively steady. But I do want to make sure I get through everything. Okay. So I'm going to try and give you as much as I possibly can. At the end, I'm going to be talking to you about the Social Selling Academy and our platform, Scylla. So you can see the sort of things that we provide on the right-hand side there. I've got a special offer that I'm going to be talking you through at the back end of today. There's nothing that you can't ask me. I'm here to literally help you as much as I can. I do lots of workshops like this. I talk about lots of different subjects. And I've found that the more that I give, the more that I get. Done this for a very long time now. And I've found that reciprocation is a thing. So as long as I'm adding good into the world, I find that I get lots of it in reward back. So please make sure that you ask anything. There's nothing, you should never be leaving these sessions with any questions whatsoever. And if you would like a copy of the notes from this session, what I'm doing is I'm sending them on LinkedIn. So I'm just going to pop the link in the chat. If you want to come and connect with me on LinkedIn, or if we are already connected, then just send me the message workshop on LinkedIn. So come find me on LinkedIn, Chris Taylor. The QR code there in the top right-hand corner. Fingers crossed you can see the QR code in the top right-hand corner. If you are watching this on a laptop or a desktop, you could just scan that with your phone. That will take you to LinkedIn. If you click the link in the chat, that will also take you to LinkedIn. Come and connect with me on there. Press the connect button. Send me the word workshop, and I will then send you the notes from this session, plus a couple of like little prizes and stuff, little rewards for connecting with me. I have literally built my business doing this for a very long time, right? So building my network is probably one of the top tips I can give you right to begin with. I look to connect with absolutely everybody that I come into contact with. So if you come and connect with me, I will definitely 100% come through. I designed you a branded QR code at one of these about 6 months ago, but you didn't accept my connect. David, I'll have to have a look. I didn't see that. It's very rare that I didn't accept someone's connection. So I will double check for you. Let me make a note and I'll make sure to double check. David Jones. I will double check that for you. And I apologize if that's the case, because that's very, 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 very rude of me. This is my LinkedIn profile. So you can see I'm active on LinkedIn now. Yes, just message me the word workshop on LinkedIn. That's all you need to do. To message me the word workshop. So you can see my LinkedIn profile here. This is me. So I just wanted to put this on here this is my profile. So there's lots of Chris Taylors out there, but that's me. I like to try and make it as clear as I can. So that's me. I've just crossed 30,000 followers on the platform. I'm by no means an influencer. I use LinkedIn for my businesses, and all I do is share everything that I do on the platform publicly, and we grow as a result of it. So over the last 7 and a bit years, this is really, really important, the context to this. So over the last 7 and a bit years, I've been using social media to build the businesses that I've been a part of. So I've had a property business, I've had a recruitment-ish business temporarily, I've had a social media agency, I've had a consultancy, I've also had a software platform. So there's a number of different businesses that I've been a part of. But one of the things that I have done consistently is help other people with their social media presence, LinkedIn being one of those things. And I probably speak to, I think I've got like screenshots of my calendar in this presentation somewhere. But around 30 to 40 people a week, I normally speak to. I'm going to get a chance, hopefully, to speak to each and every one of you on here at some point on a call over the next few weeks, fingers crossed. And what I basically do is ask people where they're struggling. And what I do is I record all of those calls and then I do deep analysis on it. And what I've found is that right now, these reasons have changed quite drastically over the last 3 to 4 months. But there are some real reasons as to why people are failing to generate business on LinkedIn right now, especially for their consulting business. And what I want to do is reveal those to you and see whether they relate to you, to see whether actually any of them kind of are on the same page as what you are. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reveal them all. And then if you relate to one, I'd love for you to just to put the number in the chat that you resonate with. So the first reason why people are struggling and failing online comes down to connecting with strangers and then getting them to be interested in what it is that they're selling. So this whole thing about being able to sell to people that already know who you are versus selling to people that don't know who you are. Now, selling has this dirty connotation that's out there, especially on LinkedIn right now. What I'm talking about here is that if you've got a product or a service, consulting, coaching, whatever it is that you're doing, and you are not able to get a stranger to be able to engage with you, respond to a message, send you an inquiry, that is something that is a skill that you need to learn. And it isn't just as easy as sending loads of messages and hoping for the best. There's a lot of like tact to it. There's a lot of psychology to it. And I'm not going to go into the inner depths of it today. I'm going to talk you through how I do it. And then hopefully you can take some inspiration from that. So one of the biggest reasons is people just aren't able to get people to the point where they get to hear about their offers. So that's number one. Number two comes down to their personal brand. So LinkedIn is a personal brand platform. And what ends up happening is because you don't know what content to share, because you don't know how to get your profile to stand out, what ends up happening is that you end up blending into everybody else. And therefore, as hard as it is to say, when I'm evaluating people's profiles, most people's audiences aren't growing, both from a network point of view and an impressions point of view, because what they're sharing isn't really worth following in the first place. And what that is determined by is the platform. It's not us as people. I'm not personally like disliking or criticizing your content. It's quite frankly down to the platform looking at it and going, people aren't going to find this interesting and therefore aren't sharing it. So that is a big thing. You just blending into the newsfeed. The third thing is you lack consistent new traffic. And what I mean by traffic is new people coming into your world. I've got a great example of this coming up today, which basically explains how you can go about building up an audience. But actually, the thing that's changed is that people don't want a 10,000 person audience, a 100,000 person audience. They don't want to be influencers. People want to have more conversations, but they don't know how to start them and they don't know how to then control them to the point where actually you can introduce what it is that you're selling. And so having a conversation online, people are finding it trickier these days. If you've ever tried online dating out there, people can't communicate very well. and so when it comes to direct messaging, there is a skill to it that, again, people are really struggling with. So either you don't send messages or when you send them, they're not really landing particularly well. Number 4 and 5 go hand in hand. So number 4 is that people don't have a process in place that they can rinse and repeat, that they can follow every single day that turns a stranger to becoming a customer. And therefore, their strategy basically is waiting for business to come to them, waiting for opportunities to come to them. Now, all of these can be solved relatively simply, quickly, and easily. But I would love to know if you were going to pick one of those numbers, one, two, three, four, or five, which one best explains where you're at right now as to maybe why you're not seeing the results that you would quite hoped from LinkedIn and social media? The answers to this kind of help me determine where I'm going to spend the majority of the time on today's presentation. So it's quite good to see for me. So Nick's coming with a 5, Brenda a 4, Kayla's a 3, Dan's a 3. We've got Katie that's a 3, Bevan is a 1. Good to see you here, Bevan. You got here in the end with the link. Good stuff. Jane's a 1, Helen's a 4, Zhao's a 3. Okay, so it's quite evenly split. There's just over 50 of you online at the moment, so it's quite evenly split. Now, today, look, at the end of the day, it's okay because I'm going to be taking you through all of those. So all 5 points I'm going to cover today. And the main areas that I'm going to focus in on. So on screen right now is the framework that we teach all of our customers. Right. So everybody goes through this when they work with us. And I can't go through it all today because it's very, very deep in the amount of information that's there, and the way that you then implement it, it would just overwhelm you. So what I've done is I've focused in on 3 areas. You've got clarity, connection, and conversion. And you'll notice at the bottom there, I'm going to be taking you through some marketing concepts today and making them really simple. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is touch points. So how do you increase touch points so you start to become remembered? And then we're going to be talking about how the algorithm works, and it operates on something, if you want to write this down, it operates on something called dwell time. So you can see here, you've got sub 1 minute, you've got sub 15 minutes, 2 to 3 hours and 30 minutes. Typically, when we are working with any business, on average, that is the amount of time that a prospect will belong in each of those stages. So we look to build a relationship, we look to take control, we look to then convert and close it through in around about 4 to 5 hours of time that is spent consuming the things that you've created. So that's what we're going to go through today: clarity, connection, and conversion using the LinkedIn platform. And if you are here for the first time today, and actually I'm going to ask this question because it's an important one. If you are here and this is your first ever workshop of mine, could you pop the number 1 in the chat for me? If you have been to one of my workshops before, could you pop the number 2 in there for me, just so I could see? Okay, so it's a big, again, 50-50 split. Perfect. Well, for those of you that have been here for 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 times before, you probably vouch for me that I don't spend very much time talking about myself. And so I want to quickly breeze through this. So on the left-hand side there, you can see me and my business partner, Nick. And we are the co-founders of socialselling.co.uk. And we have created a platform called Scylla, which I'll subtly mention throughout all of this. But our specialization, Nick is an investor as well as a business partner in this business. And we focus in on the combination of social media and revenue generation. So we are not how to go viral on the internet. We are how do we spend the least amount of time on these platforms as possible and make the most amount of money. That's it. So that's how we look at it. We look at it with looking on LinkedIn. We use Instagram, we use TikTok, we use Facebook, we use YouTube now. We use them all and we teach on them all. But predominantly on this workshop today, you're here for LinkedIn. So I'm going to focus in on that. But the biggest part that I want to emphasize is the revenue part. So I am not an influencer, to confirm this again. I am somebody that uses this platform every single day to drive attention and then opportunities to my businesses. We have personally trained now, so we track everything, right? We're a big company on tracking over 1,600 consulting type businesses, service-based businesses. And we are now in the hundreds of people that have been able to go into create a £100,000 revenue business in 12 months working directly with us. I have personally generated over 3 million followers online. That's across every platform, right? That's not on one platform, across every platform. And every month we ask our customers to put in the revenue that they've earned. And we've worked with some big customers, right? So that revenue number is big because of the customers that we've also worked with. But over 200 million of tracked customer revenue over the last 7 years, which I don't think is too bad at all. Our overall mission is to give people, no matter what position they're in, support accountability, because I think that's one of the biggest problems in this area right now is accountability. And then the education to be able to start using these platforms efficiently and effectively, really. So stop wasting time, start making more money from it. That's kind of the whole thesis of what it is that we're trying to do. Now, to be able to make this workshop as beneficial to you as possible, I need something from you. Would you mind just popping in the chat box for me? You can send it to me directly. You can toggle the chat options if you don't want other people to see it. But I would love to know what it is that you do. So if you're a consultant, what do you consult in? If you're a service-based business, what's the service? If you're selling products, what's the products? Just because that then helps me kind of figure out the way to bespoke it to you. Because let's say we have, I don't know, an abundance of leadership consultants or career consultants. I'm going to focus in on making sure that I hit that angle. So we've got a dealer manager, digital marketing consultant, financial stability, good, business advisory. Okay, we've got AI, good, consultant and sales construction, finance brokerage. Okay, that works. Leadership development, digital learning and AI. Okay, cool. So there's a big blend. Okay. That works perfectly. Thank you very much. So I think it's quite key right at this point to kind of cover off why LinkedIn. Okay. Because LinkedIn has changed quite dramatically over the last 6 months. Now, you may have noticed a reduction in overall engagement. I've seen it a lot, people mentioning it. And I actually have seen my engagement go in the opposite direction. But I'll talk to you a little bit about that and the content strategy behind it very, very shortly. But the reason why I'm pushing LinkedIn harder than any other social media platform right now, other than TikTok is the only other one that I'm pushing. So LinkedIn and TikTok are the two that are just like, they are insane at this current point in time with the ability to generate revenue. Again, I'm not going to talk about TikTok today. I'm going to talk about LinkedIn. So with LinkedIn, you have the ability to build an audience at speed. It gives you the ability to grow it yourself. And some of you may know this, some of you may not. But for me, having that ability to go out there and connect with strangers is absolutely insane. And the organic reach on this platform, see if I can find my screenshot there, like you have I have 30,000 followers, right? So it's probably different to your size, but I've got examples today, people with like 500 followers, 800 followers, 1,500 followers, are people that are able to get the same levels of impressions that I am. What I love about it is that the number of followers that you have doesn't determine the amount of people that you reach. So actually, the number of followers that you've got these days is no longer as important as it ever has been, because the algorithm has adapted to give people, smaller creators, a better opportunity to be seen. And that has therefore led to more people using the platform. Now, I can't tell you I'm a lover of social media, right? I can't. That would be kind of like, I think social media is it's a time sucker, isn't it? It's a toxic place to be if you spend too much time on it. But it's been one of the most useful tools that I've ever used. I used to use it when I went out networking. I used to use it for promoting my workshops. I send messages on it and book one-to-one conversations from it. It's such a powerful way of being able to connect with people. The problem is that most people's expectation is that they share some content and then suddenly a load of inbound requests are going to come through, and therefore their business is going to change after a week. And that isn't the case, and it never has been the case. The people that have been saying that have been lying to you. It's not the truth. You can't get that consistently unless you've got a process that allows you to get that consistently. The biggest point of all of this, though, is that LinkedIn has been built as a networking platform. The issue is the majority of people don't treat it as one. They treat it as a social media platform, a content platform. People spend more time creating content than they do speaking with people. And that, I think, is one of the biggest shocks that people aren't expecting to hear from me on workshops like this. I spend at least 20 minutes a day having a conversation with 5 to 6 people. Now, that might sound overwhelming for lots of you, but that 20 minutes is focused 20 minutes. And I'm able to typically get a call booked with 2 to 6 of them every single time. For me, I look at where else my time could be spent to get that output. Does everyone agree? Probably yes in the chat if you agree with me. It's not a bad use of time, is it? 20 minutes, couple of calls booked to having conversations with the right people. Pop a yes in the chat if you agree, just so I'm not going absolutely mental right now with this stuff. Yeah, cool, good. A few of you with me. I look at it and people spend all this time trying to think about what to post. And I literally like, oh, how many relationships have you started today? They're like, none. I'm like, well, let's try and switch the mindset here, right? We've got to focus in on realizing that it's not all about creating content on LinkedIn. Other platforms, very, very different. LinkedIn, though, actually gives us the ability to generate these opportunities because it wants us to talk to each other. All right. So that's why LinkedIn. The second thing now, as we move into like the main content part of today, is making sure that we are absolutely clear on the strategy, on the direction, and how we use this platform moving forward. Because you can see here with clarity, it's about creating the right offers for the right audience and becoming somebody that strangers want to actually talk to online. And the first step to all of this, if you are taking notes, is to understand who it is that you're trying to target and then working out what it is that they're going to respond to. So if we all be honest with ourselves, we all could probably do with more people knowing what it is that we do. If I was to go out there and look at your LinkedIn account and go into your connections and start scrolling, I bet there's probably maybe 20 to 30, if I'm scrolling for about a minute, 20 to 30 that if I message them could probably actually say what it is that you do. The majority wouldn't have the slightest idea. And so with it, where most people are talking about these complicated marketing funnels, my job is to make this as simple as possible for people. On the right-hand side there, you can see my version of a funnel. And this is how I like to look at it. I'm like, number one, how many people know me, Chris Taylor, exists, right? There'll be some of you that didn't even know I existed before you turned up today. But now you do. You now know I exist. Second thing, how many of the people that know that I exist actually know what it is that I do? So if I go and ask them, what is it that I do, they would be able to answer it. So I'm going to ask you all now, because I'm going to get different answers to this. What is it that I do? You've told me what you do. I want you to type in the chat for me. What is it that I do? And I'm going to wait for the answer because it's going to either prove or fail my point here. Okay, LinkedIn. Yep. Okay. Social media. Yeah. Help businesses generate revenue through social media and LinkedIn. Bang on the money. Consult on personal branding. LinkedIn. Good. So we've got a few answers coming through. Help people develop social selling skills. Perfect. Social selling. Perfect. So now what I've done is more people now know off the back of this today and also from my LinkedIn content and the messages that I send. There's more people now that know what it is that I do. Correct. From there, I then asked the question, right, out of those people, how many people know what I've got to sell? And then how many people have been given a chance to buy what I've got to sell? That is how I look at a marketing funnel, right? Some people look at it and they're like top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. I'm like, how many people know I exist? How many people know what I do? How many people have seen what it is that I've got to sell? And how many people have bought it? Done. And every single day I'm looking to build on those numbers. And that's how this whole process works. And LinkedIn is a great example of it because LinkedIn gives us that ability to go out there and build those networks up. For me, one of the biggest things that we need to make sure that we do is look at who it is that you're trying to target. So you might be trying to target a managing director. It might be a HR director. It could be a sales director. It could be a founder. It could be a coach. Whoever it is that you're trying to sell to responds in slightly different ways. And what I'm going to therefore take you through in this session is kind of how we work that out. And so I'm going to use my business partner, Nick, as an example here. So Nick, you can see there when this screenshot was taken, he had 14,000 followers on LinkedIn. Now, when we first started on his account back in 2022, you can see that he had the connection total was 4,755. So in a year and a half to that screenshot there, we added 10,000 of the right followers to his account. We then introduced content. Okay, so we started to get to people. Remember, looking back to that funnel diagram, how many people know Nick exists and how many people know what he does? So we started with, how can we get more people to know Nick exists? Now, to do that, we need to start talking about subjects that other people have opinions on. And so with it, you can see the reactions, the comments, as it starts to drive upwards. We spoke about eating healthily. Now, again, this isn't 100% relevant to what you do right now. It's just an example. You can talk about loads of different things, but we spoke about his diet, his health. We spoke about his journey as an entrepreneur. And we spoke about women's rights because that was something that really triggered him at a point of view. And what that was doing was adding more and more people that had similar opinions and views to Nick to his profile. What has then gone on to happen is that his following is then doubled and then it doubled again. And so with it, he now sits at 32,000 followers. And is every single person right? No, because we don't have control over the people that follow Nick. But the way that we're building his connections up are of people that are, number one, going to be potential buyers for the businesses that he invests in. And then number two are the people that have got interests in the subjects that he talks about. And when you find the combination of buyers and interests, that's actually when a profile really takes off. That's what we call the social selling sweet spot. That's where we find the right thing. And that takes a little bit of time to figure out. That's not an overnight thing. I need to be upfront with you. That takes a bit of testing, having a content strategy in place, spending like maybe half an hour each week looking at, okay, what's done well, what hasn't done well, getting the right habits in place to be able to see what works. So step number one is working out who you're trying to target. Step number two is getting your services, your offers to a place where people actually want them. So most people I find know what it is that they're selling, but they have a product or service, but they're packaging it up in the wrong ways. And so what we do when we first start working with anyone is we ask people to do a little bit of research on the way that their audience actually understand or say or interpret what it is that they do. Because what we actually find is the way that you label what it is that you do, the people that you're selling to don't understand it. Or, quite frankly, they just don't want it. And so every client, I've never found a client that's got a perfect offer. There's always a little bit of work to do, a little bit of a reframe that we do, because there's those three things there that we've got to make sure that we tick. How many understand it? How many realize that they then need it? And then how many people know the steps to buy it? And I can't tell you the amount of businesses that I have reviewed, worked with, and analyzed. And it's taken me longer than 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour at times to even work out how to buy from them. I look at their LinkedIn profile. I have no idea what I'm buying or how I buy it. I look at their website. The only thing on there is a contact us form. I have no idea how to buy anything. And so not having these things in place, unfortunately, just means that all of the efforts that are then put into social media, you lose them. The opportunity is leaked. It's got like, if you think about a bucket, it's like holes in a bucket. And lots of you, I guarantee it, this is why we see wins quite quickly with anyone we work with. Lots of you already have opportunities sitting there. The issue that you've got is that you've got too many holes in your bucket and therefore you're losing them before they actually get to the point of speaking to you. So all we do is we look at your process end to end and we then plug those gaps. We plug those holes and therefore your bucket's more stable. So then when we put more into it, there's got more chance of it rising to the top. I had to work this out the hard way. So for me, I spent over a year flogging a course that nobody wanted, flogging a property business, an Airbnb type business that nobody wanted. I had to adapt it. I had to reframe it. And when I did, that was actually when things started to work for me online. When I'm in person, I can kind of talk my way around things. I can add context. When you're online, you don't have the time to be able to do that because you're competing with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of other people. So you've got to be efficient and you've got to be set up in the right way. Sasha did this. So Sasha was a virtual assistant when she first started working with us. And she was actually my virtual PA. So I knew what it was like working with her. I knew how good she was, but she failed to grow purely because people didn't want what it was that she did. She priced what she did by the hour. She found herself in this hour pricing battle. And so we reframed what we did to a retainer base. I basically built the offer that I would buy from her. So it was like the right price, the right services, packaged up, predictable, guaranteed hours. And we then went out there to the marketplace, trying to find other people like me that needed a PA but didn't have the budget to hire someone full time. And then bang, within literally months, landed another client last night. Potential of a 12-month contract is at my fingertips. If I convert that early next week, that'll be 45 grand secured in 2 weeks, 100K business in year 2. Here we come. Now, this was a couple of years ago. Sasha's gone on to do over £500,000 a year in her executive agency business. We've consistently developed and worked on her positioning, her messaging, her offers. They've gradually become more expensive. She's therefore making more profit. But you've got to take a look at the way that you're packaging up what it is that you're doing. Otherwise, you're just not going to see the results that you want. So those two things there are really important. Can I just get a yes in the chat? So far, everyone understanding what I'm saying, all happy, making sense, just because I don't want to pile on even more if I've lost you at this point. Yep, all good so far. Perfect. So we now have step 3, which is optimizing your profile. Okay, so for me, the first step to any profile is answering the question, why should someone even start following you in the first place? Start connecting with you in the first place? What's the reason? You will have noticed that at the beginning of this session today, I asked you all to connect with me. Now, if I hadn't have dangled the carrot of you're going to get the notes from this session, I'm going to give you 100 content ideas from this session, I'm going to give you a complete guide to social selling, for all of these things that you will get after this, the majority of you wouldn't have connected with me. But because I've given you a reason to connect with me, you're more inclined to do it. When you then connect with me, you're going to have more chance of seeing my content and therefore start to remember me more and more as time goes on. That's the whole power of this. But to be able to get your profile growing in the right direction, you need to be somebody worth connecting with in the first place. So we look at what can we provide that's different? What content types can we really focus in on? What direct messages can we start to send? How can we optimize the featured section on our profile, right, to stand out? And the biggest thing with all of this is each and every one of you is going to be slightly different. And this is why so many people are stuck, because they'll watch a video, right? They'll think, oh, that's a good idea. They'll go and apply it and it doesn't work for them. So they'll go watch another video. Oh, that's a good idea. They try it again. It doesn't work for them. The thing is that there isn't a one-size-fits-all approach, which is why I speak to every single person that I ever commit to working with. Now, on the right-hand side there, you can see one of our past clients, Eric Partaker. Now, Eric, when he first engaged with us, had a big following anyway. He had 54,000 people in his network. Very, very successful person. But actually, Eric was at the beginning of his journey. And with your profile, there are 3 key sections that we worked on with Eric. We did this on his LinkedIn and also his Instagram, right, that allowed us to maximize the growth. So we looked at the headline, so you could be found in search results. The about section, so again, it's very keyword-centric LinkedIn. So think of like websites in your SEO on your website. LinkedIn operates in the same way. And then we have your featured section. We then looked at a content strategy. We made sure that the content strategy was connected to the profile. Now, you don't need to do this on your own. You do this with me on a call, right? We will go through this together. So then you just implement the plan that we create. Eric did it, and you can see here, look, I went all in on it, just like you said. I'm now growing 50,000 followers per month in the last 3 months in a row, 100% organic. I'm also adding 100,000 subscribers per year to my newsletter just for my LinkedIn posts. Strong result from that. And again, I was like, oh, okay, and how are the book course coaching sales going off the back of it? Because there's no point doing this, building a big audience and not being able to monetize it. He's like, dude, mental again. Coaching fees have doubled in 10 months, totally maxed out. Spot on result. Eric, right, that message he sent me was, I think, about 8 or 9 months ago. Eric is now at 1.2 million followers on LinkedIn. He has blown up bigger than I could ever imagine just by rinse and repeating over and over again the stuff that I've just mentioned now and what I'm going on to mention very, very shortly. It's the same stuff that I do, right, on my profile. And again, this is why my growth is very, very consistent. It's never stopped. It's always kept growing. And again, you can see from it the way that I've optimized it. So I've got the banner image there. I've got the headline there. I'm then driving people to that visit my website button. So I'm looking to move people from LinkedIn to my website where I capture more information. My about section you can see here is like, this is who I am. This is what I'm about. This is what I believe in. This is how you can work with me. Right, you can see that. You can go and read that. It's on my profile now. You can see my featured section. So I have my LinkedIn newsletter. Every connection gets invited to the newsletter. So they get to see more in-depth information from me every couple of weeks. I have my lead magnets on my profile. Right, all of these things we need to build. We need to get them on your profiles because then you're adding more value than what your competition are. You therefore have a better ability of standing out and getting the inquiries that you're after. Can you all see here how it's not one big thing that makes the difference? Can you all see that it's these small little things all connected together? Pop a yes in the chat if you can see it. But those small things connected together that actually plugs those gaps, that then enables your profile to start seeing the opportunities that are probably there already, but are just being lost right now. Because when you get everything in place, like this is like for Jamie as an example, was the thing that made the difference. Because the best way is explaining to you the example. So Jamie is a property investment consultant. So he trains on property, he sells property deals. He's incredibly successful now. But with his profile, one of the things that we were looking to do is look at, okay, well, where does Jamie have a bit of an unfair advantage? Like, where is it that he really like stands out above the back? Now, his biggest thing was that he had 100 properties already that he'd done. He'd done 100 deals already. And so I had to work out the way on the calls with him. How do we get that out there without sounding like we're bragging? Because no one likes a cocky DICK on the internet, do they? So there's a balance to be had. So I operate as a brand consultant for every single one of my customers. I'm looking at how do I position this so they say the right things in the right ways to get the right attention. We needed to make sure that we got the best version of him. So his best way was video. Like we needed to double down on video. We got the about section written. So you can see here, like how you work with us, the core areas expertise, very keyword focused. We built out his funnel on the call. So we looked at his funnel. We were right, this is what we need to build. These are the offers. This is the product roadmap that we're going to do. We need to build those out. We worked with Jamie for about 2.5 years. So it was an ongoing process. Within the first 3 months, we got the content moving in the right direction. He had a plan to follow. And with it, from the back of it, we started working with him in the January. He then went on in February and March to build. And then by April, he was having a £46,000 month. That is by implementing the right campaign. Now, we used LinkedIn, we used Facebook, we used YouTube, but we did it in a systematic way. So it was all connected together. And that's where most people, again, are losing opportunity. Jamie's gone on to do 1 million, 10 million, incredible results from his property business. Again, far out succeeded me, but the strategy has remained the same. He still runs the same campaign every single week right now. And so at the end of this session, I've not even gone into content and direct messaging yet, by the way. And we've still got another half an hour to go on that. But at the end of this session, I'm going to be giving you the chance to speak to me. And on that call, it's going to be 30 minutes, right? It's going to be today and tomorrow. We're going to be booking them in. You can scan that QR code to book one in if you want. But we're going to go through your message in your offer. This is totally free, this call, by the way, just so you know. We're going to review your process. I'm going to look at, okay, well, what changes could be made? Where are you losing opportunity? We're then going to plan out that roadmap to be able to make money on LinkedIn in the next 30 days. I don't believe in a one-size-fits-all strategy. I've said that a couple of times now. And every single person's approach is going to be slightly different. So you'll notice on my Calendly, when you go there in a minute, I'll pop the link in the chat box there for you. And if I miss anybody, so what you can do before I put the link in there, if you want one of those calls, just pop the word call in the chat for me, just so I make sure I've got all of you that potentially want one there. With it, I'm going to pop the link in a second so you can go on and you can book anyway. So you can just book it in. But this is just in case maybe it fails or there's an error on the booking process. If you want one of those calls, just pop the word call in the chat and I'll make sure at some point you get the link over for it. But the URL, I'm going to pop there for you. So if you wanted to go and grab one now or at any point throughout this presentation, that URL is there for you. So socialselling.co.uk/apply is there for you again. That QR code also allows you to book one in, but it's going to be in the top right-hand corner of all my slides now as well. So I've tried to cover off. So many people have told me before, it's like you move too quickly. So I don't get the chance to do it. I've given you 3 ways to get a call booked. To be one of the first ones to get your time, you can scan the QR code or click that URL to click and then fill out the questions and book your call in. If you can't do that right now, put call in the chat and I'll make sure that you get it at the end of the session. That's all it is, right? Nice and simple. So that is clarity for you. So the biggest thing with clarity is making sure that you do a little bit of the research and then we help you do that. We help you with that research. That stuff is fundamental. If you don't get that right, none of anything else that I'm going to say to you is going to make a difference. So with connection, which is about building the audience up, we've got 3 sections and I'm going to have to speed up here. We've got prospecting, engaging, and posting. So I've mentioned networking and direct messaging briefly already today. So this one I'm going to like kind of cover off at a bit of a quicker pace. So you can send between 100 and 150 connection requests every single week. So you can go and type in the job descriptions of the people that you want to connect with and go and press the connect button to them. You should be expecting, if you say send 100 requests in a week, between 40 and 50 of those requests to be accepted. And then you need to make sure you go and introduce yourself to those people every week, David, every week. So 100 to 150 every week. It literally takes about 5 to 10 minutes. Like connect. Make sure you work through them. For me, with direct messaging, this is where the difference is made. So I have two approaches to direct messaging. I have volume-based direct messaging, which promotes my workshops. So out of interest, is anybody here today because they received a direct message from me? Just pop yes in the chat if you've received a direct message and that's why you're here today. So a couple of you, Simon, Bevan is here. We had a couple, didn't we, Bevan? Jane is here because it's so direct messaging, volume-based. I'm trying to let as many people know that I am running these workshops. That's volume. But I also have different approaches that I have taught. So some of you might not want to do volume-based messaging. Some of you might just want, I just want a couple of conversations every week with people that I think are going to be interested. So that is a different approach to volume-based messaging, and it's a lot more human to human. And there are structures, scripts, so to speak, that you can use if you want to use them. I built them out. They work. They're tried and tested. You'll get them when you begin working with us. But actually, it's just about being a person and committing and understanding how to have a conversation with someone. And I know this sounds bonkers, but there's so many people that struggle with this. I've had to break down and showcase that many examples of how to go back and forth in a message. And one thing remains the same across all of the direct messages. I probably sent 50,000 direct messages in my time, right? But if your messages aren't getting responses, it's not because of LinkedIn, it's because of the messages that you're sending, okay? That you can always get responses and you can always get them. So you can see here, like the majority of people that message me back, like, thank you so much, thank you, appreciate it. Hi, Chris, thank you. Hey, Chris, can you help me out? Hey, Chris, thanks for inviting me. Hey, Chris, thank you very much. Great. Like, I get so much positive responses from my direct messaging because I'm just doing it in a humanized way, but I'm keeping it on topic so it then turns into opportunity, okay? From there, what I then do is I then do the right engaging and content. So this takes up about 20 minutes of my week, really. We've probably all been to an in-person networking event before, right? So the way that I look at engaging on the newsfeed, commenting, is like a simple form of networking. So I'm not looking to go and do pointless networking. I want to do targeted networking. So for me, although I find it tedious, it does give me the opportunity to start conversations where maybe some people won't respond to my direct message just yet. So as an example, I was targeting some Fortune 500 companies. I was targeting like Lloyds Bank was an example of this. Like the product manager, the product director of Lloyds Bank is probably not going to respond to a direct message from me right now, purely because he has no idea who I am. This is an actual proper example. He had no idea who I was. And also, he's probably being bombarded with people trying to contact him. So I was like, well, he's active on LinkedIn because he's posting. So rather than direct messaging him and blending in with everyone else, I'm actually just going to start asking him questions on his content. Proper questions, interesting questions. And we got back and forth in a conversation. And after about a couple of times of doing so, I then sent him a message saying, look, James, I absolutely appreciate what you're doing massively. I love your content. Out of interest, why do you use LinkedIn at the moment? So I found a question I thought was relevant to what I do. Why are you using LinkedIn at the moment? And he was like, I don't really know. I just like the platform. And then we got into this back and forth conversation about how we could start to be using it more proactively. And that then led to us going in and training his marketing team on how they can start using it more proactively. Can everyone see there? Just put the number 1 in the chat if you can see how that sort of engagement actually plays a part in this. Like little bits, nothing much, right? Little 5 minutes here, little 5 minutes there. Exactly, right? The number 1. I don't need the yes. The number 1 in the chat. But like for me, doing that little bit of engagement just helps you stand out above everybody else that's out there, right? I'll pop. It's there for you, okay? So the link's there for you if you want it. The QR code also works, by the way. But for me, with engaging, like 10 to 20 minutes, I have a list of core people that I'm trying to target, and then I work through it all the time. Consistently, every other day, I'll look through, right, have they actually posted? Have they done anything? No. Okay, move on to the next person. And yes, it's a bit tedious, but when you've just got the list in front of you, you just work through. You click the link, you work through. You click the link, you work through. Really, really easy to do. And then for me, what I then do is I do these engagement-based posts as well. So for me, like I'm always looking for partners to work with, always. So like there'll be some of you on here right now that actually know people that need some help from me. And I 100% for every single one of you know people that probably want to work with you. And so like one of the things I do, I put this on LinkedIn, but I do it on here as well. This is me asking you this question. If you feel like we could refer business together and you think there's opportunity, put the word partner in the chat for me. And I capture this every single one. I have been a huge, huge advocate for working with other people, with like knowing what they do, going, actually, yeah, you could definitely work with that person. You could definitely work with that person. I'm going to be honest. I get paid for doing it, right? Like I get referral commissions from lots of people. Like it's a great way of generating business. But every single one of my customers, they become partners. So we work with them. We're looking for opportunities because the network is massive. We've got over 300 people in our network already inside of like our membership training suite. Everyone networks with each other, but I meet that many people doing these things. I've got all of your names here. I will plan. If you, again, the majority of you, I hope will book a call in. So we will speak anyway. But the biggest thing, I want to make sure I know what it is that you do. And some of you might be doing similar things. So we'll find ways to be able to navigate that for sure. So that's engaging. Thank you very much, guys. I'll make sure I've got the list of those names for partnering. That's perfect. We then have posting. So most people default to either not sharing anything, or they spend too much time thinking, or they share content that gets very little engagement. The reason is because you don't really know what to say or why you're saying it. I think that's probably fair enough. And so what we need to make sure that we do is drive our impressions up, because there is certain types of content that we need to make sure that we are sharing to, number one, earn the right to appear in certain people's news feeds, right? So the algorithm, the platform rewards content that other people enjoy and respond to. So if you are not getting engagement right now, you need to change the content that you're creating and start to think about what other people are engaging with. And it's really easy to find that out. You can just go and look at the people that you're trying to get in contact with. Look at the sort of content that they're engaging with. Some of them might not be. Some of them might be lurkers, so it becomes a bit harder. But you can 100% find examples. You cannot tell me that every single person that you're trying to contact is a lurker, because it's not true. Because I guarantee that if I go and look at your account, right, we have a call, I will grab the sort of person that you're after and I will go and find them for you. Maybe it's just that I know where to look better, which is totally okay because I'm experienced with this now. But we have to find people that are out there, and that might take that little bit of extra effort. And when you do, every single person that we work with, we have a 1 million impression target, 1 million impressions in 365 days. Not everybody hits it, but they get close. So that's one example of someone that missed it, another one that got it, another one that smashed through it, and another one that just got there as well. For me, like George is a great example. It doesn't matter if you've got 100 followers or you've got 10,000 or 100,000. Everybody can grow with the right people. George, we did the same. He booked the call in. He worked with us. It's 150 quid a month to work with us on a one-to-one level, right? I'm going to be talking to you about it at the end. But he worked with us on a one-to-one level. And from there, we spoke every single month. And we had a strategy session at the beginning. He got the one-to-one feedback from me across everything that he did. And we built out the content strategy. We got the impressions up. We then started to grow. From there, his following went from 10,000 to nearly 30. I asked him what his results were for his property business. So property is obviously my background. So I've got a lot of people that work with me in property. He raised over £2 million for his business and did £60,000 in consulting sales. That actually did come from just his content. He wasn't direct messaging. He was honest with me. I didn't even really do any of the direct messaging, but the content worked and I got a lot of inbound because everybody was interested in the deals that we were doing. His strategy was specific and bespoke to him. So that is why having the conversation, I don't let anyone work with us. I don't want to commit myself to anyone that I don't know I can help, which is why I need you to book that call in if you want this help. Okay. My content, you can see my property business at the top. You can see my speaking and consulting business at the bottom. You can all see it. This is the sort of captions that I was doing. Like I was looking at really telling people, really looking to add value. But there's a difference between adding value at value that you think is valuable and adding value where other people think it's valuable. So I was adding value in a way that other people found this stuff valuable, which is why it did well. The reason why so many people struggle with giving advice and education in their content is because it's not written in a way that is engaging for the other user. So we've got to learn how we do this. And I was doing it very, very well for a very long period of time. And Philippa implemented this. It took her about 3 months to hit this sort of post. But she had one post that reached 458,000 people. Her followers went from 7,000 to 7,600, and she had 32 messages of people wanting to work with her off the back of it. That is the power of content. Zoe, this is my wife, 880 followers. She was looking to raise money for the dog-focused holiday let business that she had. So she posted the photo of the charity dogs that the money that she was raising, and because the profile was optimized, I have considerable experience with dogs and I'm considering investment opportunities. Katie, we could definitely just book one, Katie, and I'd be good to talk to you anyway. Just book one. Matt Fletcher, another example, again, in refurbishment and remanufacturing. Again, you'd think, who's going to be interested in that? There are lots of people that are interested in the topics that you're talking about, but you're just not connected with them. So we've got to build your network up with people that are going to be connected. Matt did it, 127,000 views, 8,000 profile views, and off the back of it, I just wanted to share some news. I've had a 1 million plus deal done recently. Guess where this customer found me? Yep, their words, we've seen you on LinkedIn. It's a 3-year contract worth 1.2 million. I think he did the training with us and worked with us for about 3-ish months on it quite intensely, and then just let his content do the talking, because you can see I've not even implemented everything. And find that most of my business comes from inbound, so I better get that sorted as well. For me, with connection, you've got to remember that LinkedIn is only the beginning with this, okay? So now we have conversion. So this is the final part to it, because we need to realize for this to work, none of us are on social media to buy things. LinkedIn is a traffic source. It's a place to connect with people. We've got to build out your campaign together. So that's what this call is for. We will look to see whether I can help you. From there, once you've got the campaign, you have the metrics that you track to actually identify if the campaign works or not. Like the replays of this workshop, as an example, book calls in my diary every single day. That's why there's only ever limited availability, because it's always booked out, because I'm always driving traffic from LinkedIn and the other social media platforms to places where people find out what it is that I do. And when you then do the same thing, you can see Ashley got 21 members in his mentoring team now, upsold his $6,000 package to a 35 grand deal, 100K run rate, 250K in contracts. That was the target that we then worked towards. For me, this was what happened last week with my client, Emmy, right? She got the one-to-one support with it back and forth. We created up just an audit campaign, provided audits with people, second call of the day. Yes, she's paid now. Boom, 500 quid in the bank. Like that, this is urgency. We needed cash. So we went out there and we created a campaign that got cash in the bank. Our process uses like every element of this, but it connects it all together. All right. This is the biggest thing here. The link, if you want the call, is there, by the way. It's there for you. For me, email lists are critically important. It won't be important for each and every one of you, but it's really important if you're looking to get control over these social media platforms. If you're not driving your list forwards and collecting data, you're missing out on opportunity, right? So your email list provides a nice little win for you, because you're moving people from just a connection to an actual interested contact, right? They're interested in what you've got to do if they've joined your email list. For me, having that customer journey in place is something that we have got to build for you. It's just 30 days, build that out, and then we start rinsing, repeating that process over and over again, like we did with Pete. Pete was in pigging technology, content strategy implemented, sent us that. Just as I was starting to get a little despondent with LinkedIn, wondering if my time would be better spent elsewhere, an order came in overnight for our US office, right? $313,000 in the bank. Not bad at all. This is what we need to do. We need to get your offer sorted, get your message sorted. We get your conversion campaign built. We do this all step by step, just like Angie did here, sends me over the work. I will then look at it, give you feedback. I get you to commit to it. You make a promise to me and you commit to doing this process, right? You focus in on it solely, because if you do that, we can then guarantee that it's going to work. I need you to focus in on it. You can see the depth of the feedback. That's why it works, because you then go and implement it. And then from there, you can see, I love you, close 7.5 grand with a commitment to finalize scope of corporate at 30K next week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Are you still okay to check it? I'm running on the 29th. Are you okay to come back to me next week? So again, back in, giving the feedback, working on it. On that example, again, we had another 11 grand came in from 17 calls booked in. This was a workshop campaign. It's just one campaign that you can run. But again, more feedback. This is what you need to change. I watch it all. I look at it all. I'll review it all for you. And with it, when you're looking to convert, it's about not guessing. You use me, you use Nick, you use our experience to remove the guesswork, because then from there, you make the progress. All right. Now, because of time, I'm not going to play this voice note for you. This was what a videographer called Reese, who started with me as a day one startup. He then did over £100,000 in his first year. You can go and message Reese if you ever bothered in hearing it. I'm not going to play it just because of time. But what I need you to realize is that most people make social media look really simple, and that then makes people really disappointed in the results that they get from it. I'm going to be honest with you. Social selling, generating revenue, isn't as easy as people make it online. There's a knack to it. There's a tact to it. There's certain things that you must have in place, and you will have lots of them in place already. You just need those holes filling and a few changes. And so what I want to talk to you today is how we work with you. So we give you the training, we give you the mentoring, the technology, and the accountability. I'm going to take you through this one by one, but you work with me for a year. This is the biggest thing. I am not in this for you giving it a go for a month. You're going to work with me for a year, and we're going to make this work. I will commit my time to you if you commit your time to me. And the reason why is because every month we are going to get better and better and better, working through the 9 phases that I implement every single day. I'm going to teach you how to build up your traffic sources, how to build your brand. I'm going to teach you how to build out your social media platforms, how to build your email list, how to have the conversations, how to set up your website, how to do your funnels. I'm going to teach you it all, but I'm going to do it in a very, very simple way without overwhelming you with just loads of information. And with it, you implement what we say, and the average result is that people 10 times the money that they spend. So if they're spending £150 a month for a year, you should be receiving between 15 and 30,000 pounds back in sales. Like, it is inevitable if you just do what we say. You just need to make sure that you implement it and you can take on advice, because I want to make sure that today you have a no-brainer offer in front of you. Because even the calls that I offer, right, people then, like James put here, I spent 15 minutes speaking with Chris about my business. The next meeting I had with him, he also sold me my own services. Now, with it, knowing that it's £150, by the way, what I want you to do for me, if you are interested in working with me one-to-one for £150 a month, just put the word in the chat box for me so I can make sure that I write your name down to get in contact with you afterwards. It's just so I know straight up that you're there. But I need to make sure that you are committed to just listening to the advice that I give you. Because if you do that and you can implement it, it will work for you. All right. So we have a training program that you work through, right? I lean on this because I'll end up repeating myself for hours on end. Like, for me, it's making sure that you watch the training, but then you send me the work, right? You send me it over. From there, we've broken each phase into the checklists. You then follow that plan and you make sure everything is right. We then review and update that content every single month. So you can see here, you then have a checklist that you work through. You follow the plan, you send me the work. I then look at it. This is the sort of thing. You've got the support center here. This is where you direct message us. It's one-to-one. Nobody else sees it. And from there, we then do the work in. All right. We then have the accountability. So this is the bit that most people have needed, which we've not sold for a while. We're bringing it back now after a great conversation that I had with a lady last week. So I have now got the time to be able to give you again, to be able to focus in on it. So we have one-to-one calls like this. On Zoom, we agree with ourselves. We make a promise to ourselves that we're going to get this work done. You will then do it. You then send it through to me. And then every month we speak one-to-one. Every month, once a month, we speak one-to-one on Zoom to review that progress. If we don't hear from you, our system chases you, because we've got to get you working on this. There is no point you joining it and then not doing it. I need you to join. I need you to commit. And then I need you to make sure that you let us like shout about how good you are as well, right? The partnership thing is a thing, right? Like I want to make sure that you benefit as well as we benefit as well. All you're doing though is following the process that I do every day. So you end up getting this action plan. Here you can see 2 action plans that I wrote this week. So you can see how I'm using Notion to be able to do it. And then from there, I send that through to you inside of our system that then you then work through. We keep it so streamlined and focused. And if you ever get stuck, you just ask. Now, every single week, we also have 2 live sessions that you have the choice to attend. Every Monday at 12 p.m., every Thursday at 2 p.m. They're for an hour. One is typically for training. Another one then is for implementation. So today, as an example, I'm taking people through the 10 steps to being able to turn expertise into a service, like an actual offer, and how to then create it. That is an implementation workshop. We will challenge you. We are very relentless with this. Like we want people in this that love it as much as we do and want their business to succeed. So that is what we're building. We're a big membership. We're a big community. These are the events that you can see coming up. So we've got creating webinars, creating funnels, building your audiences. They're all recorded, so you can watch the replays if you can't join them. I like to think that we have literally made this a no-brainer for people at this price point. You can see here, like off the back of just some accountability, just closed down 45 grand in sales, all based on you giving me a push. That was a lady called Donna McGrath. Like, really nice. We then have the technology. So we are releasing technology every single month at the moment. So from link tracking to landing pages to to-do list management, we've got CRM coming. All of this stuff is being built into the platform. We then train you on how to use it if you want to. So today, like I said, a few of you have already put the word in. You can't just join this. I need to make sure that this is going to work for your business. And there are some businesses it just doesn't work for. And if it does, I'm very upfront. I'll still give you the call, but it just might not be right for you. You work with me for a year. Okay, so it's £100 plus VAT. You don't pay it all up front. You pay it monthly, so you're happy. Cash flow's managed, really easy. Now, there are some bonuses, though. So today, if you decide to join us for this cohort, so you get your call booked in either today or tomorrow, and you join us, you're going to get a 45-minute strategy session with me. So this is on top of the quick call that we're going to have, that 30-minute call that you've probably already booked in. When you join us, you're going to get an additional 45 minutes with me. That's a very detailed 30 minutes. You can see the feedback here that people are getting, right, from that call alone. Like we set up the campaign, we go through your strategy, we book it all in. We have endless results from people. I could literally put in 1,000 screenshots of results now with how long we've been doing this. The second bonus, and this actually helps me help you. So one of the things I like to do is write your profile for you. So I've personally now written over 650 LinkedIn profiles in the last 2 years. And the reason I do it is so I get to know your business as well as you do. And that's a bold claim, but test me on it when we speak, right? I will know your business in the same way that you do after writing this profile. I will tell you what to put in your featured section, your banner, your profile photo. We'll put your headline, your about section, your featured section, and we'll make sure that it's optimized for view generation and also inbound inquiries. So that is free if you decide to join us and you work with us. Now, you're going to be the right fit. So to be able to do it, I'll answer all the Q&As in a second. You need to click that link and you need to apply. So in there, it's very simple questions. I need to know your current turnover. I need to know what your objectives are. I need to know what it is that you do. And I need your LinkedIn profile. There's 4 things that I need when you're filling out that form. That form enables me to quickly do a bit of research prior to the session to make sure that you actually get some use out of it as well. All right. So that's how that works. Again, with it, there's 15 spaces, I believe, on Calendly. I don't know how many there are left. If anybody wants a call and is like, I don't have time to fill in the form just now. Again, if you've not put the word call in the chat already, just put the word call in the chat and I'll make sure that you get it in an email afterwards if you don't have the time to do it now. But with it, I'm going to check the Q&A. There's been a couple of questions in there. Is there an annual offer? There isn't currently an annual offer, but I could look at one for you. Something, if you book the call in, we can talk about it. We don't currently have one because we prefer you to pay the small amount of money up front, make some, and then that clears it. All right. Jane, really, really looking forward to it as well. Cannot wait for it. Now, tomorrow at 5 p.m. is when I close off onboarding. So I have windows for those 45-minute sessions over the next few weeks to get people booked in. There's a bit of work I need you to do for me for that to make sure that it's right. I've got a strategy form I need you to complete, take you about 20 minutes. And I also need you to complete your profile form. That will take about 20 minutes as well. So there's a bit of commitment that I need from you, but that commitment gives me all the information to help you with your strategy. All right. Now, that is actually, I only had one question in the Q&A. Does anyone have any other questions at all? First off, has everyone found that useful today? Insightful, like you motivated more to use LinkedIn now? I know some of you are filling in your forms. That's totally fine. Do I send connection requests with a note? No, I don't. Leave it blank. Leave it blank. It's been tested it for years. Blank always is better than with one. All right. Great refresher. Brenda, we need to catch up actually. It's been a little while. So make sure, reach out. I know you've messaged me on LinkedIn. Message me again, and I need to get a call booked in with you. All right. Perfect. So, guys, what I'll do. Do you do business profiles and personal? Yes, both, Gemma. We need to do both, but personal is the real focus point. All right. I appreciate that, Emma. Thank you. Emma's just put really helpful and refreshingly different to other experts. Appreciate it. I will make sure I accept all the connection requests, David. I promise you, I will. Guys, thank you so much for your time and attention today. I've absolutely loved it. The email, I will make sure, stop sharing that. I'll make sure that I'll send the email out with the replay so you've got it. The call link, I will follow up with anyone that's put the word call in there. But thank you very much for your time and attention. And I'll see you all on the newsfeed. Thank you very much. Goodbye.